I guess my name is Lindsay.
Hey, my name is Kit.
And this is One Versus the Other. And today we're gonna be, because we're both super invested in what's going on with the drama between, I guess, Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, their whole lawsuit.
It's end with us.
Yes.
Right? But you never end with them. So
I think, the Reddit post is, it ends with a lawsuit.
Oh, okay. All right.
I feel like that's a great,
yeah. It's a great tagline. Okay.
Yeah. So, okay, so
Do you know what's going on though? Like, can you go? I mean, majority of the audience, if you click on this video, you probably see the headline. You will probably know that what's going on between Jason Baldoni and Blake Lively. But for the people that doesn't know, what is the recap of it?
Okay, so I guess it started back, in 2023 when the photos of Blake Lively were coming out, right? The photos of her from the movie It Ends With Us, where she was playing the character Lily Bloom, which, how ironic, a lily bloom.
What is ironic
Lily
about
is a flower,
okay.
and blooming is when a flower goes like, when it becomes spring, when it blooms.
Okay.
So it's just like it's a dumb name from my perspective, but
that is like a personal attack to the author. I don't know.
No. Okay, I thought about it originally, but so essentially a lot of complaints were coming forward. A lot of people were talking about it on like X and Twitter because like I was watching it because I'm really into book talk. I never read Ends With Us because I don't particularly like
love story or domestic, like realistic look.
I want to enjoy my book, and I feel like something as dramatic and when it comes to like Colleen Hoover book, it seems like it's a lot of like romanticizing toxic behaviors in relationships, and I just don't want to. I don't like that type of novel of writing, and that seems to be consistent.
That's why you don't like 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, that book and that movie are weird.
And I like it. I enjoy it. Like, you gotta take it as a fantasy term. So it's not like take a real term how you think that everything actually realistic, right? If it's realistic, nobody can go for it. Nobody want to do this crap. It's like a
no, that's fair. But from my perspective, it's over dramatized to the point where I'm just like, is a man really gonna say this to you?
Maybe it's a girl wish that one guy say something like that. That's why it's popular. Have you think about why it's so popular? You can stand on that. You don't agree with it. You don't like it. But why is so popular?
No, it's popular because a lot of people enjoy stepping out of their fantasy life, which is why I understand things like It Ends With Us is a really popular book. I understand that, and I think it resonates with a lot of women because I believe the reason why the book attracted Justin Baldoni was because it shows that anyone could fall into this type of situation. Just because, and even I think he said that he wanted you to feel sorry for the Ryle, like the character. Like he wanted to be where you could be like, oh, like you haven't dealt with your trauma, which is why you're doing this to her, and she's a victim due to the fact that you don't know how to control yourself, so you've become abusive because of that. And he wanted people to understand the backstory as to why he was like that, supposedly. In a lot of interviews, he talks about that. Because, like, there's a lot of people who you wouldn't think end up being in, like, situations like this. And I respect that. I respect that there's books like that out there that resonate with women. Do I want to read stuff like that? No, not particularly in my life. Like, I've dealt with personal issues in my own life that may not necessarily be the same, but like mirror certain like toxic behaviors, and so on my free time, I don't want to read that. So it's just like, for instance, I don't like watching like overly emotional movies either. Like I'd rather watch reality TV where people are screaming like "you stupid bitch," like that type of stuff, because it relaxes me. But either way,
so you're saying Kim K relaxed you?
I don't listen to Kim K.
I don't watch Kim.
I don't watch Kim Kardashian. I watch like I like Summer House, you know, like The Real Housewives of like Atlanta.
You know, those are kind of scripted. Like,
oh, 100%. They're so fake, and it's really badly fake, but I enjoy it. I don't. Anyway,
I just want the audience to keep that in mind when they keep on going when what your explanation was.
Okay, well, anyways, so a lot of people were complaining online on X, and I remember about her clothing, like she was wearing like layered pants and stuff like that, or like she was wearing a crop top with a beanie, which makes no sense. Like, why are you wearing a beanie when it's supposedly like? Have you ever associated a beanie with being sexy? The answer is no. No one in their right mind. And let me tell you this, it's not a yes or no. There is a correct answer and there is a wrong answer. And the answer is it is never sexy. And so there's like scenes like this. I'll show you. I found it on TikTok where someone was just like acting like her. So a lot of people were just, making fun of the clothing style. And it didn't go over well. And people also started complaining that Blake Lively was too old for the character. Because the character was supposed to be around like 23 to 25.
Okay.
And she is mid-30s, like she's like 35. So it's like you're playing.
But a lot of actor or actress, they are not portraying the current state of what their age is. Like you see some time
that's
to
fair.
time. Like I don't feel like that argument itself is if you feel like this person couldn't portray as what that is basically the director, whoever casting this person didn't pick the right choice.
Yeah.
Because you don't feel like she looked like this, she doesn't look like this age, she didn't act like this age, then why you pick this person? Right? It could be a director, it could be whoever influenced to pick this person.
Well, there's also the aspect that they supposedly chose her because they wanted to specifically Justin Baldoni said that he wanted to age the character up, which I can imagine could be kind of insulted if you're like mid-30s. But he did, like he wanted to age her up to show that anyone can fall for this type of situation, even women that are probably older, is what I'm assuming. Because like anyone, like whether you're in your 20s or all the way to like you're like 60 or 70, you can end up in some form of an abusive relationship and not even realize what you've gotten yourself into.
Okay.
From my perspective.
But what is the drama? We still haven't explained the drama. Like you mentioned that
that's where it started.
Okay.
That's where it started.
Okay.
And then it progressively got worse with the way that they were campaigning the movie, right?
When is that?
I would say, wasn't it around like July, August? They were campaigning the movie as like a floral type of show or movie where, like get your girlfriends and go to this movie. And I remember looking at that as someone and I was just like, isn't this a DV movie? Like this ain't a romantic movie. And she was just like, get your florals. And then I remember I was like thinking about it. I was like, I feel like this book was a DV book. Like maybe I'm wrong. And then I saw a Justin Baldoni interview directly after it, and I remember him being like, oh, it was really important to me to show how Lily Bloom would get herself into this type of relationship, that anyone can be a victim. Like, and then he started talking about how he got, I believe it was in 2000, after he read the book and started the process of making a script, becoming the director, and then the author asking him to be the main character. He got into contact with people who have been domestic violence victims and also got in contact, proceeds goes to domestic violence victims. And like, I didn't know that, and you wouldn't have known that if you just watched Blake Lively's version of advertising. It was very much preppy. It was very much like, like fairy-like, like, oh, everything's so great, and like, there's no problems in the world, and the world is amazing. And it was just like, that's honestly not what the movie's about. And then I guess she got a lot of bad press because of that. And then a lot of bad press happened because Justin Baldoni wasn't seen with the cast, and that none of them followed him on Instagram, which obviously all of the sleuths out there, including myself, were like, oh, that's interesting. That obviously something went wrong. We don't know what, but wonder what it is. And then eventually, I guess the press got so bad that I believe it was early December, I believe it was the 21st, New York Times published an article piece with no paywall that you could download and read from anywhere. And for the New York Times, that's pretty interesting. Talking about how Blake Lively was harassed on this set and how it was a very horrible work environment. And then I believe from there starts talking about how there was this PR campaign to make her extremely unlikable.
That's when I actually get engaged with what happened with Andrew West and Jason Baldoni and Blake Lively. I didn't know, like I kind of know that's a movie coming out, but I didn't go watch it because I don't know what to expect. But some of the people that I talked with, that they said they enjoyed the movie, and I was like, oh, okay, I don't know what it is about, and then suddenly I see TikTok universe, and then they like it's all over TikTok. Was talking about what this movie actually about is about DV, and talk about how how Blake Lively was promoting alcohol.
Oh, it was bad. It was such a bad campaign.
And I seen one of the video that she were
which one? The problem is there's so many videos where you're just like, ugh, like any normal person would be like, that's not what you say. Like, it's like every bullet she could have dodged, she just went face first into it and just decided to fuck up her own interview.
I think the one that I was watching was a reporter was asking, since this movie is all about DV, like what would you think that you a person or audience feel resonate with you, and what you get tell them?
Oh, I'll answer that question as someone that's not Blake Lively. I think that's a wonderful question, and I think people can get into these situations in such a horrible way. And for me, I think the immediate thing that I would do was I would provide them contact information, try to make sure that they have support, try to find out a location near them that maybe they can stay if they're in immediate danger. And I would try to give them the best advice, and if I don't have that answer, I'm going to find it somewhere. And there's a lot of really great material out there, including in our own movie where we discuss, I believe we have we're working with a domestic violence foundation, and they have great resources. And here is their phone number, and here is their link to their website. And you can find places for only women. And if it's a man, because sometimes men get into the situations too, I would help them find that information. That's how a normal person answered that fucking question.
So you saw the interview.
Yeah, where she was just like, oh my god, should I like share my location, or like, what, do you need my phone number? Yeah.
I think she interpreted like
as a joke.
No. Let me be a devil advocate.
Okay.
For the one time. You were always the devil advocate, right?
Yeah.
Now I am being the devil advocate. To think about what the question of the reporter, if you really watch the interview again, he was asking is, well, what do you think that this person should do? Should they contact you? That kind of comment, like a statement.
Oh yeah. The interview question was idiotic. Why would you go to an actress?
Right.
But the problem is when you become an actress in a movie that has to do with a social issue that is a problem that hits a lot of women, you should become an expert in that. I'm sorry. Like, as the main actress, and you're just being like, this is the first time, or one of the first times where I'm the main actress, main producer. She's the producer on the film, right? And she wanted the accolades.
Shadow.
Yeah, she wanted the accolades, right? She made the director, the producers write her an accolade so she can get a professional credit as a producer, right? Even though she didn't do as much as she thought she did. Guess what? You become the expert. You be like, you know what? I don't know if I could be fully that emotional support for them, because that is such a difficult situation to go through. But I'm going to be there to find them those resources that they need. They need specific resources, much more than I could provide, because I'm just a tiny little person. You got to make yourself, you gotta act humble, even if you're not. Like only an idiot would not. Okay, I get the question is stupid. The question is dumb. You shouldn't be going to an actress for suggestions. over like your domestic violence issue. But the problem is in society, we go to people we resonate with. And this movie was meant to resonate with women that went through pain, right? Specifically women, even though men go through it too. So it's like, so you had to become the expert. You were supposed to read the book, which you didn't. You know, you were supposed to become the expert. You were supposed to meet with victims. You were supposed to make sure you had the links, the numbers. Like, you were supposed to do your homework.
Yeah, because she wasn't the one to want to put this in the personal. Like, she didn't want to like amplify what was the
domestic
movie.
Violence. Yeah,
the message of the domestic violence. What I'm thinking was
or the interpretation of what she's doing.
Right,
because we don't know her.
Yeah, exactly. My interpretation is just like she want to take a job, and then she want to do the job as like the best she can, and that's it. Like she tried to maneuver all this stuff. She take over a lot of stuff that she
superficial things. There's superficial things, right?
From
my perspective,
for your perspective, for what this person's perspective, maybe they think that this is like this is what bring the movie alive. Right? So I don't know.
I just question it as like someone that's dealt with like sexual harassment at work before, like. Where like a manager would like watch me over the intercom and make comments to other coworkers and stuff. Or like I would have like a manager like follow me to my car once or twice. Or like I had an owner of a company that didn't like me because her husband, who was CEO, kept complimenting me because of my work, and she didn't like that, so she treated me a type of way. Like, I've dealt with harassment in the workplace, even sexual harassment, right? I've even had like people like brush their hand, like it's not considered technically sexual assault, but like they brush their hand against your butt and things like that. Like, those are types of harassment. Like, when I see the way she acts on camera, and then when you read the complaint, like the minute you read the New York Times complaint, you're just like, something smells fishy. It smells like fish. Something smells like a lie. Like, something, like, critically thinking wise, like, I can imagine if you read the article from the New York Times, immediately you're just like, oh, this is horrible. Like,
yeah. That's
like,
what my
this
feeling.
is disgusting. But then when you read, like, a lot of the information, I'm just like, well, this is a complaint. Why aren't you suing? Why didn't you call your SAG union? You're a part of a union.
I am on your side. Like I read the whole case after all. I read the majority source that I can find that online. Right, I'm on your side. I agree with you.
Yeah,
I'm trying to saying that what I disagree with that argument with the interview, because that interview, what that question came in is kind of out of the place, even though for you.
Oh, it's a dumb. I agree with you. It's a dumb question.
But I did not like I think majority people agree. What her answer didn't provide what needs to be deviate, like what needs to be provided to go to public.
She needs, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
someone should have given her PR. Like, she needs PR training. Like, this is like common, like, you needed someone of common sense to like come, like, if you can't be, for instance, for example, do you know the crash that happened in DC with the Black Hawk helicopter into the commercial plane, right?
I did see a couple clips and stuff.
A journalist asked Trump, "Oh, are you going to visit the site of where the helicopter crash happened? Helicopter crash happened over a river." He's like, "What am I going to do? Go into the water?" So unless you're going to point out that they're making a stupid question, you got to be like, yes, of course I'm going to go visit the crash site. I need to memorialize these people. Because that's the stupid stuff that people need to do.
But she did. She was like, what you want me to do? You want me to share my location?
Like, I guess you're right. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair criticism.
She did point it out, but majority of people didn't
interpret it that way.
Yeah, because they already didn't like this person already. I am trying to be a fair ground. I did not like this person myself. I didn't like a lot of stuff that this person is doing, and like all the interview coming is very rude. But you can understand the question itself. The question itself was dumb. The question itself is not asking what you're projecting for this movie can convey the message. If this person's if people feeling certain type of way, they were asking specific what you would do if a person come to you as a
That's fair. You're right.
But I don't think that she should take it very offensively because she's a representative. She's supposed to say, okay, hold up, I might not able to do much for her. Exactly
the way I said it.
Yeah, I couldn't do much for this person, but there's some resource can probably able to help her instead of
PR training. And here's the thing. Here's also the problem. The way they decided to advertise was for her to be bubbly and jokey and stuff like her and her husband normally are when they interview, right? Or like, like negative, weird humor, right? And be them, quote unquote, themselves. And the way Justin Baldoni wanted to advertise it was, we want to put domestic violence in the forefront. And I think the problem is I think they're just like, well, no one wants to watch a movie about domestic violence. I think that was their perspective. Who wants to go? No, I'm thinking like, this is my perspective. So they thought, let's just make it bubbly, right? Let's inspire them to go to the movie, and then more people will go, and then hopefully they like the movie. Whereas Justin Baldoni was like, no, I wanted to highlight domestic violence because to better society, I guess, was their perspective. To like teach people or teach men that this is not, that anyone could end up in this type of situation, be this kind of person, or be this kind of victim, But it was just like, but come on, you have to admit, like, one interview after the next was just bad after bad after bad.
Sure, but you can admit, actually, the whole bad press of Blake Lively.
It's like it got bigger.
The bad press in comparison with Jason Baldoni. So you have two split, right? But actually, what is the benefit the most? People talking about a movie.
Oh yeah, they made almost what, 300 million.
I don't think the strategy is so. If whoever put up this mastermind, maybe probably just not get, they put it up as a mastermind. They probably like that's happened because of that division. But this actually make it work.
Yeah. A lot of people were talking about it, so they go watch it more because they're like, what the fuck are these people talking about? Let me just go watch the movie. Or like, so yes, technically the discomfort, what seems like the crew not agreeing with each other did inspire probably more people to come see the movie, so they made more money. But whoever decided to do this lawsuit was an idiot.
I agree.
It wasn't. I'm sorry. Like, whoever decided to do the CRD complaint, right? So I'm talking Blake Lively's side. Whoever made that decision, when you're dead, lay down. Just don't get back up, right? Like, no one told her she died. like just lay down. Everyone will think you're dead. They'll walk away, and then you slowly rise back up, and you live to see the day again. Like, why did you have to, like, you snowballed this and made it worse and worse and worse?
We don't know what is actually happened, right? Nobody knows.
No. Well, there's video.
Sure.
Right? Because, like, she said that he smelled her and called her, that she smelled good. So we're just saying our opinion at this point. Sorry.
Yeah,
so I guess the timeline starts December 20th. Let's just get into the timeline so we can just get through it. So December 20th. So like I said, December 20th was when the Civil Rights Department accused Blake Lively accused Justin Baldoni of sexual harassment and retaliation during the film. December 21st, the New York Times published an article. So a day later. And then within that day, before that day, they gave him 14 hours. They sent Justin Baldoni an email saying, like, what's your evidence to, essentially just saying, what's your evidence to dispute there was sexual harassment on the set? Didn't tell them what the accusation, like, fully was or what's going to be said in the article. And then they published it 2 hours earlier than what they said. So, 21st, WME dropped Justin Baldoni. WME is, the CEO is Ari. Ari, the CEO, is actually his clients are actually Blake Lively and also Ryan Reynolds. That's something to know. So the owner of WME that specifically fired Justin Baldoni is actually, he represents Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. And he even mentioned recently in a Freakonomics podcast episode for the radio that he specifically fired Baldoni. He called him Baldoni, which, okay.
So I did see the case. I did see, to be 100% honest, when December came in and when Blake Lively dropped her lawyer complaint, I was like, oh, I feel really bad, because sometimes happen in the workplace, nobody really listened to what the woman said.
You didn't feel suspicious?
I do,
get,
but like you do, but you still want to make sure you're not too bound on one side, because if actually a victim is actually a victim, well, you gotta say it, because this is very serious.
Oh yeah, no,
this is a very serious accusation, and you have like I would assume, and I hope majority of people actually have their freaking hands, palms full the world, like evidence to able to put this claim together, like, because this is type of you don't
falsely accuse someone of something.
Exactly. I hope majority of the people in the good heart wouldn't come into a place to accuse random people or anybody. This is very serious.
So, okay, here was my perspective when I read it. It didn't make sense to me, because I was just like, why is it so easily seen, since normally New York Times does it so publicly allow for it to be allowed, right? Because like normally you're not allowed to like download it and stuff. And it's not, you have to pay. It's normally behind a paywall, and it wasn't behind any paywall. So I was just like, that's super suspicious.
Because they want to blow it up.
But that's why. So that's my first inclination. And then the second is like, when it comes to sexual harassment, from my experience, it's always like a power play, right? So it's like normally the person above is exerting their power over the other individual. And I was just like, who has more power? Technically not Justin Baldoni, because he may be the director and the owner of the rights, but the person who's more well known is Blake Lively, and she's like more loved. She's like Taylor Swift's best friend or whatever, you know. So I was just like, the person that technically has more star power, the person that they're probably trying to please the whole entire time, is Blake Lively. So it wouldn't make sense to me as to Justin Baldoni sexually harassing her. That's just my perspective when I was looking at it. I was like, the power dynamics doesn't make sense. That's just what I thought. I didn't say she was lying, because I don't want her to be lying. I really don't. Because that's horrible for everybody. But who I thought was like, it'd make more sense, because she kept talking about like the underage. I like how they talked about the underage Isabella, the person that plays Blake Lively's like younger character, that she was underage. But I was like, how old was she? She was like 23 in the movie. So she's not underage. So they're just trying to say like, they were trying to like, oh, you're trying to evoke an emotion in me. You're trying to manipulate me. That was the vibe I got. And I was like, it would make more sense that Justin Baldoni sexually harassed the actress Isabella, right? Because she's 23. This is her first film credit, right? And this will be her, like, her main into the industry. So Justin Baldoni has immense power over her. So to me, when I'm reading this, it would make more sense if the main person that was getting sexually harassed was Isabella, because that's who Justin Baldoni actually has main power over in the industry. It wouldn't make sense that he has power over Blake Lively, who has actually been in the industry like an extremely long period of time. Ryan Reynolds is like the face of Marvel's Deadpool. Like he's like, if she complained to her husband, he's annihilated, right? Like they could ruin his career in minutes. What, his only film credit or his main claim to fame is Jane the Virgin, which I watched. I really loved him in Jane the Virgin. I watched that show because it was based off an actual Hispanic soap opera. Like it reminded me of Hispanic soap operas that I watched when I was growing up. And then there's 5 feet apart, right? 2 people with tuberculosis, like about to die. With, I believe it's like one of the Strauss brothers, like one of the twins. So, like, that's his other claim to fame, which is those 2 credits, where she has, The Traveling Pants, Gossip Girl. She has her best friend is Taylor Swift. She has her, her booze line when she doesn't even drink.
I know about that.
She has, like, A Simple Favor with Anna Kendrick. Like, she has, like, a ton of credits. Like, she's worked with all these famous people. Her credits are a lot longer than his. Who has more power?
I don't know. For me, it doesn't matter what your power dynamic okay, for sure. You have some type of influence for power dynamic. If you're on top, you can control on the manipulate at the bottom way. Mm-hmm. But sometimes things happen, and people feel embarrassed. It doesn't matter you're on top or you're at the bottom. They feel embarrassed not speak up. So for me, it's a fair ground, even though the power play might be different. So I want to see more evidence. I don't want to speak. I don't want to speak until like the more evidence show up on the face that which side is actually correct.
Oh yeah, well I agree with you on that aspect. I'm just saying when you're first reading the complaint, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Is like this looks super sus.
But first thing come to my mind is like as part of the experiencer of like domestic violence, like that type of abuse before, you kind of feel you want to be wary when you come into make a judgment on this type of thing, because that's you don't know. Sometimes it's hard.
Yeah, and that's fair.
And especially you being on both sides of the coin, like not both sides of the coin, you being the victim side of the coin, but nobody want to believe you, and at that point, you want to really want to see all the evidence to like present to make your voice heard, to actually see what is actually correct and what is wrong.
Well, for me, my perspective is there wasn't a lot of evidence for something that was on a movie set, from my perspective.
But it wasn't any scenes come out at the time yet when the complaint was filed.
Yeah, but for instance, okay, a lot of people jumped to believe the article, but for me, I was just skeptical because I was just like, the way they're displaying this is they're like over dramatizing it from my perspective instead of like straight bullet point. You know, like I'm more of like a, and on top of that, I don't know, I just get the feeling like you're trying to manipulate. Like the feeling through the article was like, oh, you're trying to manipulate me. Like you're trying to manipulate the public. That was my perspective. And then, obviously Brian Freedman starts dropping different, he starts suing New York Times, and he brings his evidence forth, and then he goes on Megyn Kelly. Do you watch Megyn Kelly? She's a YouTube podcast commentator, used to work on Fox News, used to work, I believe, at NBC when she was fired. Brian Freedman was her lawyer, which I followed that case. Right?
Oh, you mean the lawyer?
Brian Freedman is the lawyer of Justin Baldoni. And Brian Freedman is a lawyer who I have watched for a while because I enjoy watching cases. Because I told you I don't like watching like romance stuff. I actually like listening to like lawyer cases, like people reading like law cases on YouTube.
I didn't know about him, but all I know about what his relation was with the Amber Heard. Like they're the law firm to handle that case.
Amber Heard's case? Was he what was his law firm? Whose side did they take? Because I actually didn't know.
No. Really?
I had no idea. That's why I was just like, what? I was like, Kit has teeth?
Yeah. You should Google it now. Like,
wait. Okay, I'm going to ask ChatGPT. What is it?
ChatGPT can hallucinate.
Okay, what do you want me to Google?
Just talk about who's the person again?
Brian Freedman.
Okay, Brian Freedman. And just type the case of Amber Heard.
Firm take during the Amber Heard trial. Because you saw me. Remember how obsessed I was during that
Amber Heard? I was obsessed too. I was like joining that. Like, I think they are both. That's still another entire different case that we need to do.
Okay, it's the internet keeps disconnecting me. 1 second. Let me just hotspot. I don't want anybody stealing my information and being a fake.
This one will not go online. I don't know why you say that. I don't know why you're saying that. This is not the part that can go online. So you safe, girl. You safe.
Okay, there. 1 second. It's just. Brian Freedman represented Bloom and his firm. Let's see. Okay.
Oh, that ugly ass picture.
Bleeds. Okay. Let's see.
Why don't you just type like what is the relation of
Yeah, that's what side did Brian Freeman's firm take during?
Guess what? Go for Chat.
She go for ChatGPT. You're just like ChatGPT can lie. Didn't you just say ChatGPT can lie?
He hallucinates from time to time, but yeah, because it is he to me. You can be her to you. I don't care. But
so it looks like he previously represented a firm against Johnny Depp in a separate legal matter.
Okay, sure.
Currently,
that's not one on the news, but okay.
Freedman dismissed these allegations, stating that the public perception of both actresses is the result of their own actions publicized. Okay, so I guess he represented. Okay, but I know Brian Freedman from Sage Steele. When she had issues with ESPN, when they fired her over her perception of transgender women in women's sports.
What is the perception?
That's too deep
for me to go. That's too deep for me to go.
I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that topic online.
Yeah. No, don't go politics. This is our our podcast. Don't go to politics.
I like my job. I'm just gonna say that. And then he represented Megyn Kelly. He won a lot of people millions of dollars. Like, he is a very lawyer.
Do you think that he's a well-known lawyer to take a case that is very full of evidence, or you think that he's still a very well-known lawyer to able to ban the case even without much evidence? That's a two different things.
Those are two different things. I think he knows how to pick cases.
Okay.
I think it takes because he's not always gonna win, right?
But you win the name.
Yeah.
Like being out there.
But I mean, he won Sage Steele like lots of money, and he's known in that industry. He's not liked supposedly in the entertainment industry. But he's definitely someone that wins entertainers lots of money when they go up against like big firms and stuff like that for violating the rights of their talent. Depends on what you say, what you think talent is.
Okay. All right, we derailed too far. Let's come back.
But essentially, he so he took the case and then he went full throttle. Like, he went on Megyn Kelly's show and he's like, "I'm gonna sue Blake Lively into oblivion." Yeah. I was like, ugh.
I never know this word until he said it.
Oblivion. I was just like, oh, and he was like, "I'm suing all of them." And you know who I think did a really good job covering this case? So there's one YouTuber named Zach Peter who I really like.
We will link him down below.
Yeah, he's really good. And then I like Candace Owens. She's been...
You know what statement is?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make.
What?
No matter what side you're on in politics, this freaking one case bring
everyone together,
all nations together, because true is true, wrong is wrong. Like, right is right, wrong is wrong in this case. No middle link it.
I actually watch Candace Owens regularly because I find her extremely entertaining. I think she brings an alternative perspective. I don't always agree with her.
Me neither.
I love her episode that she's doing right now about the Macron family.
I don't know what that is.
That's the president of France and his wife.
That's why I don't follow her enough. But but for this case,
she's doing a really good job of bringing everybody together.
I feel like this case should present what is sown in the internet, like not what is sown in the world, like what you can able to search in the world. That's why I think at that part I agree with her, even though a lot of ideology that she shared that I didn't agree with, but I think she presented the case very well, and I agree, and I see that, and I feel very bad for
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds.
Jason Baldoni. Why would I feel bad for Blake Lively?
Because okay, first of all, not to be derogatory or call anyone a bitch, but like
what's TCH?
Bitch, a bitch. Okay, but Candace Owen is like a dog with a bone. Like, when she latches onto something, she's just like, she's not letting go, and she's so good at just digging up dirt. Like, if you regularly watch her, she goes all the way into the deep end. It's so interesting. And so it's like, I feel bad for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, because Candace Owens took interest into this case, and now she's fully interested, and she's just like digging up all the dirt and just like putting it in front of everyone, and just showing that how bad their behavior is in the industry. And so it's like, obviously I feel bad for Justin Baldoni, because he looked like super stressed over everything, obviously, but like Candace Owens is really like digging their graves, you know. She's digging the graves of like Ryan Reynolds, like right next to each other, throwing them in there, throwing the dirt over and over, just like a slow death.
Have you watched Wolverine and Deadpool?
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
I love that movie. I don't care.
Is that come on next one? Are you gonna watch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Deadpool. I'm not gonna. Do I think he's a good person? You get that rich, you think you're a good person? Probably not.
I disagree with that standpoint. I don't think you have to be a shady person to be rich. I hope not. Like, at least in my fantasy world, or even in my reality world, my ideology, I never think about a person is ever bad. Like, not intentionally, at least. Like, you can have a good heart to do certain things, but it's not agree with the majority mass. But
that's fair.
That just hopefully that's my goal of the majority world, but it can be a fantasy. Who knows, right? But that's my thought on like Ryan Reynolds. But I do feel like it's very bad that you put somebody on the movie.
Oh, I thought that was funny. Oh, okay. So I'll say this: I hate feminism. Like, I'm pro everyone being equal, but I
think you take the long term of what actual.
I'll let you finish. Let me finish. So I hate feminism in the sense of like the people that like really like I love women, and you know, like super into their feelings, right? Like, that's just not me, and so I hate listening to it. Like, it really annoys me. So like, I actually, before any of this happened, like, had actually listened to Justin Baldoni's podcast because I liked Jane the Virgin. But I hated the podcast because he has, like, a manly enough podcast. It's about, like, masculinity and all that stuff. I was so annoyed with how emotional it was that I turned it off. Because it's not my thing. Like, you know, my husband's not that emotional. Like, we're both very, like, we do not take life seriously. Like, we have a child who we joke around with all the time. Like, there's no need to be that serious or emotional. And so when he was doing the nice pull thing, like in the movie, I was dying laughing because I thought it was hilarious because those people irritate me. When I socialize with those type of people, I'm just like, does it really have to be that serious? Like we're lucky enough to live in 2024, 2025. Like, I love being a woman. I mean, I love being a woman in this era. Like, I feel like life's great, and so I want to shower in the positive, right? And so I just thought the whole...
That's how Blake Lively feels. Want to shower in the positive. And guess what? You get her.
But like, so that's why I was like, so for me, like the whole like I think of like the feminism stuff. I have like a very similar perspective of, I guess, Candace Owens and Megyn Kelly, where it's just like, ugh, is so annoying. Like, I don't want to talk about this. I want to deal with something else, right? Not necessarily that there's something wrong with them. They're just not my people, right? Like I still fully enjoy Justin Baldoni and Jane the Virgin, but that just means that I like his work. It doesn't necessarily mean I agree with how he approaches life.
I feel like a lot of people take a different take.
Nice pool?
No. For feminism, like majority of people feel like, oh, feminism is about take over what the like workforce is.
Girl boss.
So I was like, you're wrong. It's to talk about what you wanted being equal. You just only want.
No, that's the original perspective of feminism.
Yes.
I agree with you.
That the point is majority of people twisted.
Yeah. Which is why I hate feminism now.
Yeah, but you have to be able to point it out that the actual feminism is not about all this like taking over, because I still want somebody taking care of me. Everybody wants somebody taking care of them, no matter guys or girl. You want your wife taking care of you, you want your husband taking care of you. It doesn't matter because you work as a union, right? But you want the equal footing, that you have the chance to make a difference. That's what actually the pinpoint was supposed to be a feminism, but a lot of people twist that.
If we could take 100% of the women that are feminists, and that's their agreed upon perspective, and that's what they're agreed upon that they're fighting for, I would agree with it. But I would also think that if that was what our goal was with feminism, I feel like that goal and that freedom has been obtained for most of the United States, for the most part, from my perspective, right? For the most part. Do you have let's say, people believe like freedom over your bodily autonomy? That could be questioned, right? Because some people have the perspective that bodily autonomy of abortions is a right that they deserve, whereas some people have different perspectives, right? I'm Catholic, so I have a very specific perspective, and I think that will be the end of that. From my perspective.
I think that's my perspective. That's your perspective.
Yeah. And people have the right to have another. That's the beauty of America, and that's the beauty where you can fight at the local level to fight for your perspective, right? We live in a state that does not agree with my perspective, and that's the freedom of this state, right? Or this country, is that you can fight for your perspective within each state.
We are going too far to your politics.
Yeah. No. But okay, so my point is that if we were taking feminism, that would mean from our perspective of what feminism is, if we 100% agree it has to do with the rights of women and protecting women's rights, then feminism, we should be fighting for it in other countries.
Sure.
In that perspective.
Exactly. But I would argue in both sides, right? Like I said that that's in the line of feminism, people have twisted the word. Even though for the supportive, they are twisting the word. I was like, oh, you guys I feeling super oppressed or something, that I need to be certain type of way. But no, if you actually understanding what is feminism for both, of course, for both sides of the aisle to see it, it's supposed to just only be equal footing, equal chance. Giving the equal chance, let it thrive. So it doesn't matter what your ideology of your feminism is supposed to be. It shouldn't be more further than that. If you're further than that, is saying that what certain nobody's supposed to be this, then you're dictating.
Yeah, that's the freedom of voting. Yeah,
that I'm saying that you're not that's the ideology is entirely different.
So you're saying that. You don't think Justin Baldoni comes across as a feminist?
I never listened to his podcast, so I don't know. But like I said, my understanding of what feminism is just my understanding of feminism. Okay, it can be objective to each person, right? But I hope, of course, of the board, everybody is trying to just only want to be an equal footing, other than not oppressing for. Oh, I don't want guys to do this. This is oppression. You don't want oppression.
I agree with you.
I don't want oppression go for both sides, because you don't need that. Life is hard. Fucking egg is $12. Come on, guys. Let's stop this. It's hard enough to survive in the world, to just only be okay. Why we need to fight crap like that? Let's work together. That's not what my understanding is
of feminism. Then I see your point, and I agree with your point on what feminism is, if that's what it is. So then I would lead just to get back to the point of Nice Pool, like, did you laugh at it? Because I did.
I didn't get it.
You didn't get it?
The joke,
it went over your head. I guess in the sense of like,
no.
It wasn't funny to you. It wasn't when you first watched the movie, not knowing the drama. Was it funny?
That's me. That's stupid on me. Right?
No. It's not stupid on you. It's a cultural thing.
It is very cultural thing because a lot of American joke, even for what was his name again? He's a very popular
Dave Chappelle when we went to go see him. You didn't get a good portion of the jokes. I remember us talking about it after.
Like, I want to understand it, I want to enjoy it, but majority of my time I couldn't get it. And it took me like almost like 4 or 5 years to understand, oh, that's what it meant. Now we watch it, I can enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. But it's like, funny, after.
Yeah, but like, from my upbringing, this is not my entirely what my upbringing was.
Okay, so the cultural jokes, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Like, even for Deadpool, half of the movie I did not laugh.
Culturally. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
It didn't feel funny to me. Like, I was like, am I supposed to be laughing because the majority of the movie theater was laughing? That's a pop, that's like a pop to the movie because majority of people was laughing. Even my boyfriend is laughing. My fiance is laughing. Oh yeah. I was like, huh? Oh, I'm supposed to laugh at this point.
That makes sense.
I didn't get it.
Well, I think Candace Owens' theory was really interesting. Did you see her theory? I messaged it to you at work.
I don't think I've seen your message, but I already seen her video about. She have so many video about.
Yeah, I watched them every day.
I didn't think that I seen every single case of it, but I seen 4 or 5 of them from 3, 4 of them from her. That I was like, oh, okay, I grasped what she was presenting, and I agree with her, so I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Not that because I agree with her, I enjoy it, but actually, let me rephrase that sentence. I do, because majority of people don't feel enjoyable when they don't agree with something. I find myself a lot of time that I don't enjoy something, but I have to watch it so I can understand the contents of it. And that's the majority right now society and a lot of media. You want to understand both sides of the coin, right? You want to see this side of the coin, why they say certain thing, and why this side of the coin want to say certain thing. I don't feel enjoyable to watching it, but I want to see why they're coming from, and then to make my own judgment. So I have to able to piece 2 sides together, because there's no very rare when the newspaper or all the news media is like present is very certain way. I have to need to watch both sides to able to make my own judgment. It's very sad.
Yeah, because it's very manipulative.
It's very sad. I don't feel enjoyable to doing this either. But like,
well, I personally I liked how she said, or I didn't recognize this, but when she pointed out, I was like, oh, this is a very interesting theory, that the dog that they were fighting over in the movie, that really ugly dog, was supposed to be Blake Lively, and Nice Pool was Justin Baldoni, and obviously Deadpool.
Who's that? Why is that is Blake Lively? She have a pretty face.
It was the dog that they were fighting over. Their dog that they're fighting over was Ryan Reynolds fighting for his wife. Do you get it? Like, he was calling his wife a bitch.
I don't know. I don't know if that is like going too far.
Oh,
like, I don't know. Like, that's going too far to overreading.
Oh, she might be overreading into it. 100%. It's a possibility. But like, that theory is super cynical, and if it's true, it's like Ryan Reynolds is extremely diabolical. When it comes to like his storytelling, if it's true, and if it is true, it's kind of ingenious in a way to just like take someone you really dislike because of the way they're engaging with your wife. Like, you don't like the way your wife is like communicating. If this is true, right, allegedly, if Ryan Reynolds does not like the way his wife is communicating with Justin Baldoni, like, we all express our anger in different ways. And I can understand, I'm so irritated with the way my wife is acting, and I'm super irritated with how her coworker is acting, and I'm going to present it in my movie as a way to emotionally unload my frustration.
Do
you get, like, so
sure.
I understand that perspective. I know that Candace Owens thinks he's, like, psycho for doing that, but from my perspective, like...
If I'm him, I'm just gonna serve a paper.
Oh, yeah. If I was Ryan Reynolds and my wife was, like, texting a man constantly and saying things like, oh, I'm known for, like, not using teeth and stuff like that, she made, like, a sexual innuendo of, like, giving blowies, BJs, to Justin Baldoni.
Who?
Blake Lively in the complaint is a text message screenshot from Blake Lively to Justin Baldoni where she's insinuating that she gives blowjobs without teeth.
I don't need to know that.
No.
No.
But to me, that's like sexual harassment. Like,
yeah,
if a
exactly.
woman is like, and so it was just like, if I was Ryan Reynolds and I was seeing the communication of my wife to her coworker this way, I would not be happy.
I would serve her a paper.
Oh yeah, I would be divorcing her. Like, as a woman, right? But here, I'm not, like, take out the fact that she's an actress.
Mm-hmm.
Her communicating that she gives she's like, it's all gums, never teeth with me. And, like, I'm known for it. Or something like that. Something probably not super accurate, but definitely referencing giving blowjobs.
I don't know. I have to see that text message.
Do you want to see it?
Sure. I don't know, like, what? Maybe that is a rich. Like, that is very rich. I don't know. I have to see it to able to decipher myself. I don't know.
Okay, here's the text message. So Blake Lively on 2023 4/8. She says, I can send you my pass at the roof or just read with you when we get together. Next week, let me know what you prefer. If you knew me in person longer, you'd have sense of how flirty and yummy the ball busting would play. It's my love language. Spicy and playfully bold. Never with teeth.
I don't think I read it that way as like a BJ.
That's an insinuation. No teeth means that you're giving a blow. Like, it isn't. As an American who knows the culture, it is.
Yeah, but it's very weird. Like, why would you text your, like, director or even your co-worker say something that I'm, like, very, like, if you know me long enough, I'm very flirty. You know? No comment.
Yeah, especially that you don't serve it back to her is just as important. You don't usually see both the man and woman with such agency and humor. Anyway, I can act it out for you next week or make sure it comes through, or I can send now. Let me know what you prefer. Sorry, I was just crying my eyes out as kids and family just left for another 5 weeks and it was a shit show. So completely, that was Blake, so the whole, let me know what you prefer, and then after that, Justin Baldoni responds, the reason why, he responded to her within the day, so I don't understand why he said sorry, but whatever. He said sorry, was just crying my eyes out. So completely disregarded her, I'm flirty and yummy, and I don't use teeth.
What's his response after that?
His next response after the crying the eyes out because the kids were gone. Yes, send. It's so important to the film and can't wait to play and find it. I agree so much. Lily needs to be strong and witty, the character, and playful and bold. That's why I wanted you. It's also one reason why I wanted to age her up. If a woman like you could fall into that relationship, then anyone could. And the more we love them, the more devastating Act 3 is.
I think that freaking statement make her mad. Like,
postpartum.
I want to age her up. I was like, Mitch, what you said again?
But here's the thing.
Again.
But emotionally perspective, yes, I agree with you. But is he aging her up? yes, he aged her up over a decade.
Yeah, but I don't think any woman like to hear that you know what, the reason why I picked you because you're older. Basically, plain sight, text to text. That's
there's an expiration date on you.
Yeah.
You're ready to die. You're 1 foot in the grave, bitch. That's what most women would take from that conversation.
And that's
her problem.
Majority women would take that, and majority women doesn't not like it.
But then you have to also think, like a woman would interpret it that way.
Yes, exactly.
But should society have to tiptoe over the fact that women are insecure about their age?
No, but I mean, you should still let that's you're working with the other side, right? Mm-hmm. You don't know that feeling. Just like the society would say, you never ask a girl how old they are.
Yeah,
like,
but it's also
like a gentleman act.
But they're talking about professional work. What did they do to the character? They aged her up.
I would put that fucking comment in there to begin with. Just in, like, if I'm... no shame, no nothing. I agree what everything is played out right now. I agree. I'm on Jason Baldoni's side. I'm just saying that like majority, if a female director or whatever was saying that, I wouldn't say I age her up. I was like, that's why I pick you. That's it. End of story. No other comments flowing around because you don't need to know that.
Yeah, you could have. You could always say things like, oh, I decided to choose someone where no one would expect that this person would fall for this type of situation.
Yeah.
Because this is to show that anyone can get hit by it. But should someone adhere 100% to someone's insecurities, even if you don't know them? Let us know what you think.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening.
Back for one more season.
Yeah, season 2, episode 1.
Yay! Bye.
Bye.